I may have lucked upon a solution for our problems.
What is that?
Gentlemen, I give you Pickle-Lila.
What does my grandmother's pickle relish have to do with our financial problems?
I think this relish could save ELQ.
None of this would have happened if Daddy had just trusted me to run the company. But no, he couldn't even leave me a couple of shares, not one share. Instead, he leaves me a single lousy jar of relish. Oh, my God. The relish! The relish!
What's the matter with it? How old is that stuff? Has it gone off?
No, there's nothing wrong with the relish. It's perfect. This is what's going to save ELQ.
Okay, I don't get it. EOQ's assets are frozen or being investigated by the SEC for laundering mob money. How is Pickle-Lila going to save us?
Well, as I went through the past records of the company, I came across references to Pickle-Lila. It was a very successful company that was started by Mrs. Quartermaine.
You know, my grandmother was an amazing woman. She started this entire business out of the kitchen at Kelly's. But I'm not sure I understand why you're bringing it up now. ELQ eventually acquired it. It was phased out. They haven't produced Pickle-Lila in years.
Well, perhaps it's time for a relish renaissance.
Take a lesson from the past, right?
But you guys are talking about using a condiment to save ELQ. Are you both crazy?
Darling, look, I know you've had a rough time lately, but you are losing it. Relish is gonna save ELQ. You've barely got enough here for a hot dog.
I'm going to start producing Pickle-Lila again. America's best loved relish is making a comeback.
And that's supposed to save ELQ.
Why not? Did before.
Well, as AJ said, maybe the key to preserving ELQ's future lies in its past.
I'm still not following you.
ELQ was having a lot of problems in the 80s. Okay, I mean, I was just a kid, so I didn't really understand what was going on. But there were a lot of machinations going on within the company, and ultimately, ELQ went bust.
Machinations involving the Quartermaines, that's a surprise.
We are consistent. I still don't remember exactly what happened, though.
It was Monica's fault, of course. She bankrupted ELQ, threw the family out, and everyone had to live above Kelly's.
Oh, the horror.
My mother started making this relish in the kitchen at Kelly's. She named it Pickle-Lila.
Yes, so to make ends meet, Mrs. Quartermaine decided to sell the stuff.
You know, actually, people loved it.
Yes, she increased production, and the family decided to market it, and it really caught on. Well, before long, supply couldn't keep up with demand.
Wow. Sounds like Pickle-Lila was a monster hit.
Thanks to the money Mother made with Pickle-Lila, ELQ was back in the black.
Tracy, that was the 80s. Everything's changed since then, especially the economy.
A quality product is always in demand. Pickle-Lila saved ELQ once. It's going to do it again.
You do realize that you'd have to start from scratch. You sure you want to do this?
It's a way to repair the damage I've done to Daddy's company. I have to do it. And no, I want to do it. He wants me to do it.
He? He who?
Daddy.
Now, even though I would not recommend it, the time that I spent in the Turkish prison gave me a very unique perspective on the way we live our lives now. This current culture and their obsession with electronic gadgetry, despite the fact, I think what they really want is something that reminds them more of a sense of home.
Kind of like an old-time family recipe for delicious relish.
Yes, something simple and traditional. Two facts that actually put Pickle-Lila out of favor. Everybody was so quick to move on to the next best thing. But times have changed now. People want things now that are familiar. They want things that are homemade. They want things that are fresh, like from farm to table. That has become fashionable. I think Pickle-Lila could be the same.
You know, I think it can work. I mean, what do we have to lose?
Well, there's just one problem.
And what is that?
There's only one jar of Pickle-Lila left, and Tracy
has it.
Yeah. My father was a canny businessman. He knew that this whole mess with ELQ was coming. He knew about the mob money, and he knew that it was going to catch up to me eventually.
Okay.
He lived long enough to know that disaster is always waiting right around the corner, and no matter how successful you are, you can always end up living above Kelly's once again.
I've been there a couple of times.
Exactly, which is why he left me that jar as a reminder that if you are resourceful and hardworking, you can always rebuild. You can rise from the ashes. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Mother. That is exactly what I'm going to do.
Well, Tracy may have the last remaining jar of Pickle-Lila, but that doesn't matter. All we have to do is find the original recipe.
You know, I knew I made a good move hiring you. You're a genius.
Not so fast. But if we can revive Pickle-Lila, then perhaps...
Once Anna finds out that you're the guy that came up with the idea to save EOQ, she's gonna see what a great guy you are, and she's gonna want you back.
You know, I hope you're right.
Look, I don't want to sound negative, but finding that recipe might not be so easy.
You know, this is the first time since Daddy passed and the will was read that I feel remotely optimistic. I cannot fail as long as I take Daddy's final message to heart.
And his message was follow the relish?
Absolutely. That's why it's even more important that you find Lauren Frank. As a great-grandchild, she's entitled to 6% of Daddy's ELQ shares. I have to get her on my side so that I can take back control of the company and save it.
Baby, I love your enthusiasm. But we don't even know if she exists. Carly said it could have just been a mind game.
Well, of course, Carly would say that. She's protecting Michael's inheritance by denying the possibility of another heir.
Well, that could certainly be true.
Lauren is real, and between her and Pickle-Lila, I'm going to be back on top, starting right now.
Oh, Tracy, sadly one life to live isn't on anymore.
And a high of 89 degrees.
No, actually, I'm tuning in the financial channel. I want to see if I can get a report on ELQ's stock price.
With a high of 77.
Some tense moments at the Port Charles Police Department earlier today. Commissioner Anna Devane was held at gunpoint by self-proclaimed vampire slayer Lucy Coe.
Well, I'm glad they didn't mention ELQ in connection to Lucy Coe.
Well, turn the sound back on. I want to hear what happened to Anna.
No, I'm sure she's fine.
If Lucy Coe can take down McBain with a chair, she can certainly take care of Anna.
Anna is an ex-spy. She is more than a match for Lucy.
I'm sorry, Tracy. I've got to find out if she's okay. I'm sorry.
Alice!
Is Mr. Luke still here?
No, Alice, Mr. Luke is not still here.
I might as well just put away the snacks.
Stop moping. I have a question to ask you. I have just been enjoying this lovely relish, but the jar is almost empty.
Already? You really scarfed that down.
Yeah, well, I'd like some more.
Well, I think that's the last jar.
I'm aware. Do you know where Mother kept the recipe?
Oh, wow, that was way before my time. I've never even tried it. Maybe Cook knew how to make it.
Alice, that is hardly helpful, seeing as Cook is no longer with us.
May she rest in peace.
But since Cook is no longer with us, there's nobody to stop me from going into the kitchen and looking for the recipe myself. Excuse me?
I think Michael has a point. I remember reading in the file that the recipe for Pickle-Lila was a closely guarded family secret.
You know, I remember something about that, too.
Yeah, but I think that might have been part of its success. That might have been part of the mystique, you see, that it was a recipe that was never to be known to anybody outside of the family. In fact, I don't even think the ingredients were listed on the label.
Come on, guys, they have to be written down somewhere. Hey, I want you to go through the company archives. I want you to find any paperwork, any files that you can on Pickle-Lila, and then use a search engine, find out anything about Pickle-Lila that's online.
You know, I didn't have much access to technology in Turkish prisons, so my computer skills are, well, they're pretty basic.
I'll do it.
No, actually, I want you with me. There's somewhere else that we need to look. Duke, do whatever you have to do to find that recipe. Alice!
Oh, Mr. AJ,
That's what we were looking for, right?
sorry, you're not still mad at me, are you, about the vote? I mean, I wanted to vote for you, I really did, but Mr. Luke, he asked me to vote for Miss Tracy, and you know how he is. I mean, how can anyone say no to him? I certainly can't, and so, but hey, you won anyway, didn't you? I mean, no harm, no foul?
Relax, that's not why Michael and I are here. We were just wondering if you knew where Grandmother kept her recipe for Pickle-Lila.
That's so funny. Miss Tracy just asked me the same thing.
She did?
Yeah. I couldn't help her, though. I've never seen the recipe.
Really? And where is Auntie Tracy?
She's in the kitchen looking for it.
Okay.